This video is about TJ doing some soul searching, trying to figure out what she really wants to do with the rest of her life. Whether or not she should stay away from Jaguar or truly move on. From what I'm gathering, she wants to hit the road, she says, in an RV. She's always wanted to do that since her parents passed away. Well, if she wants to hit the road with an RV, that tells me she's not thinking of baby girl because baby girl is not thinking of her. Baby girl wants to be with Naisha now. That's where she wants to stay. So let's get into the video. But before we do, hit the like button as you come onto the page. Make it light up. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet.
You know, I've had people calling me, texting me, saying all kinds of things. Stay offline. Stay offline. Why do I need to stay offline if everyone is talking about me online and Jack created this channel for me? So why do I have to stay online? Or offering me money to revoke the bail, just disappear, all kinds of things. Why do I have to disappear? Why do I have to stay offline? Why do I have to revoke her bail? Why do I have to feel so much hate? So the reason why I picked Holy, because honestly, I've never been single in my adult life. I was in a relationship at 17. It ended. And I got in another one with Naisha, and it ended. And I got in another one with Jag, and it's ended.
So she's talking about her more serious relationships, not the ones in between that were just flings.
So that means maybe I need to deal with self. Maybe I need to deal with self. Why am I a runner? What am I running away from is the question that I had to sit and ask myself in these past 2 days. You know, I haven't really had time to think about my life and the choices that I made. So I've just taken that time. Yesterday it was rough. I walked away. Was that the easiest thing for me to do? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So yesterday, TJ walked away for the 26th time from Jaguar. She wanted her Cash App card to get the hell out of there. She said she was done with Jaguar. Well, apparently she haven't gone back. We will see if she's going to go back. But she says she's moving on with her life. What do you all think? Drop it in the comment section. I would really love to know. And don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel.
And then I got rest, and then I bathed, and then I had conversations, and then I was up, and then I was down, and then I was reflecting, and then I was thinking about my children, and I was thinking about my relationship with God, and I was thinking, like, Ty, where did you go wrong? What have you done? Or what do you need to do? And I can go back, and I can go all the way back to the beginning, and where all of my symptoms come from, and why do I run, or what makes me run, or why do I feel like I have to run?
And I guess this is a teachable moment for all of us, that when we run and hide and try to get away from our problems in various ways, whether it's drugs and alcohol or just picking up and getting out of a situation rather quickly. Like for TJ, she has left, according to Jaguar, she has left her about 26 times in 2 months. And so when we like to up and run and not deal with our problems, at the end of the day, the problems are still there. So we have to learn how to deal with it. We have to find tools and effective mechanisms to empower ourselves to deal with our problems.
And I think I've been running ever since I was a little girl, to be honest. When things got hard or overwhelmed, I ran and I hid to find a way just to protect myself. But what am I protecting myself from? How do I cope? How do I deal? what is the best way to deal with life sometimes? Sometimes for me, I just feel like walking away, ignoring it, pretending that it doesn't exist. But I realize that that's not how you deal with things. You know, and to begin with, I don't have to go into my relationship with anyone, but I think it's important that I touch just a little bit on some things since it's out there. My relationship with Naisha and my relationship with Jag, there are a lot of similarities.
She forgot to mention the relationship with her children and her family, her brother, auntie, sister, etc.
And hold on. I'm good. I don't even. Yes, thank you. I'm not going to go into all of it because I'm not really going to bash anybody. But I just know that I have to take accountability in a lot of choices that I made, and I guess this will be my time to man up, if you will, to take responsibility for the choices that I made in my life. Thumbnails and all of that stuff, it really don't bother me. I can never be ashamed of what God has brought me through. Can never be ashamed. The relationship between Aisha and I, it wasn't the healthiest. I chose to stay when love was no longer being served because I felt like I was obligated, And at that time when I did leave, life was just very overwhelming for me. And I'm realizing as I took this time to myself, as I'm taking this time to myself, grief is a trip. Realizing that you just become numb to things and you just allow things to happen. And you just go with it. You just no longer have any energy. You no longer have any excitement, no joy. You become complacent. And last night when I came to the room, I opened my journal and I read my journal from when I got better and was able to write. And I just told God that when I'll be able to get the ability to walk and talk and to move properly, that I will leave. And I pray that He will give me a way of escape. I'm in that moment right now. And I have to learn to not get distracted because, this docs now is going off and people are sending attacks and doing all kinds of things to distract me. But the devil is busy. And I can't allow any more distractions in my life at all. I will no longer be bullied. I will no longer be silenced. I will no longer allow anyone to take my voice away from me anymore. And it's not just about what I'm experiencing now on this red app, because I had a whole life before I got on this red app. I had a whole lot of things that I went through and I already. So no one can intimidate me through a text. No one can intimidate me through a thumbnail. No one can intimidate me with all the stuff that they throw out on me. Because I survived things. I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. I survived a lot of things. So you can text this phone again and you can do all this stuff and y'all can cut and paste. But I'm still going to be me and I'm going to stand firm in who I am. No one is a victim. I think we all are accountable for ourselves. Naisha's no victim. I'm no victim. As an effect. Simple as that. I'm out. the adults. Don't listen to them. Yeah, they can't win when God is watching. And I think that was the best thing for me to do, to have this time alone, because I haven't been alone. Like I said, I stated before, I've never been alone. I had my baby at 15. I was a mom. And then I got in a relationship at 17. And I've been in one ever since, up until yesterday. So to have time to just sit and reflect and think about the choices that I made. What's next for me? How do I deal with my mental health? How do I repair the relationships that matter the most to me? But I have to start with myself. Start with myself. And that's where it begins. It begins with me. And, you know, a lot of people say, you said, and you did this, and you allowed this, and you ever just be at a point in your life where you just don't care? You don't care. You see the house burning down, but you just don't care. I've been fighting for a long time. I've been fighting the fight before I got on this red app. Was it the best thing to do? No. But I did it. I pick myself up today. How do I go on? How do I stand tall? Hi. Y'all know me as TJ. TJ is just this person on this app. But what about the real me? How do I do that? I'm no longer a private person. I can't be. YouTube. I am starting over. I'm starting over. I am really starting over. And this is something that I prayed for years. And I just didn't know how to. I just didn't know how to move. I didn't know how. I don't want to use the word escape, but to walk away. So I just sat and I reflected, and I'm like, you know, I think having this channel can be amazing because it's a microphone into the ether. The things that I went through and I survived, someone else may have gone through. And I do believe in God. God has to get the glory.
I absolutely believe in what she just said. You give God the glory no matter what the circumstances, because as bad as it is, it could have been worse. And someone else probably is learning from what you're going through, what is out there already. Maybe someone is looking at it as a teaching and learning experience.
I read about the humiliation and what that means, and stated that humiliation is something someone goes through, or they're being punished for not following the rules. But what rules did I not follow? The rules of being bullied or whipped into submission, to turn on everyone. It says humiliation doesn't mean necessarily that that person has done something. It's to invoke shame. Be ashamed of nothing. Because everything happens in the will of God. And once you can accept that, there's no turning back. Someone says, I'm not being punished. Someone says, it's my karma. People are saying, this is what you deserve. And I'm saying, maybe this is for God to get the glory. Maybe this is to help someone else, or maybe just for me.
At this time, we're going to take a Dr. King break. Whenever there's a video playing with Dr. King, I always want to hear what he's saying. And then we're going to get back to TJ.
I speak out against this war because I'm disappointed with America. And there can be no great disappointment where there is no great love. I'm disappointed with our failure to deal positively and forthrightly with the triple evils of racism, economic exploitation, and militarism. The day has passed for superficial patriotism. He who lives with untruth lives in spiritual slavery. Freedom is still the bonus we receive for knowing the truth. Ye shall know the truth, says Jesus, and the truth shall set you free.
Will. And we got to get up to fight. I just stopped fighting. Since 2019, I just stopped fighting. Everything that I went through, I just stopped fighting. I just did not care anymore. I just surrendered to whatever. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. For us, who can be against us? And I know everybody has an opinion because what they think of what they see and what they can relate to. However, it's my life. It's my story, my journey. We can agree to disagree, but I do believe that the conversation should be had since, it's a topic. What you think? Oh, you should have stayed. Well, why would I stay in a place that I'm unhappy in? If your kids, why would I uproot children and I have no stability if I'm creating stability and I've created a stability for them? Jag, why shouldn't I be with Jag for a person who've accepted me from the very beginning? Hey, do this, do that. And I looked in the comments, honestly, for advice because I was defeated. Because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle what was going on around me. I made poor choices. And now it's just time for me to pick up and trust in God and move on. Love is the strongest force in the universe. And all can be forgiven. I'm reading some of your comments, and I'm going to comment to the ones so rugged and troll, because that's another thing. I allowed other people's voices to become the voice in my head that didn't even know me. Don't know anything about me. Do you deserve happiness? You love to play the victim. If you listen to my life, I'm not a victim. It's just reality. See, everyone have so much courage to type. Do you have the courage to live out loud? For someone to put a camera in your face, for someone to tell your secrets, or you just taking it one side, Or I can drop a link. My Cash App is TRJ1116, but someone hacked the Cash App and there's a negative balance of $56. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Someone called the hotel we were in. We were doxxed. We were stalked. Even last night, people calling and texting and just saying all kinds of things. Oh, I have proof of my Cash App that is negative. Why do you have a camera on? I don't have my camera on. I never said I didn't want the opinion. What I said, I wasn't going to address the opinion because I have given y'all opinion too much space. I have given everybody's opinion about me too much space in my life. Self-love, exactly, is I think that's what I've lacked, honestly. I've lacked the self-love. I'm gonna be very honest. One thing I can appreciate Jag about is like, girl, speak your truth. Don't let nobody take your story away from you. You have a story. And I was just very ashamed and all that about the things that I went through and what brought me to where I am now and where I'm going. And I've been making plans on, like, what is it that I want to do exactly? For so long, I've been living my life just to please everybody else on what everybody else wanted to do. I was a mom at 15, so then I was a mom, and then, I was in a relationship with Missy, and then I took care of Missy, and then I ensured that she had everything, and then I was with Naisha, and I took her in and her kids, and then what she wanted to do, and I really forgot about me. What makes me happy? About drama. This is about acknowledgement. In order to be able to move on, you have to acknowledge what has been done. That's the only way I can move on, if I acknowledge what has been done.
Guys, this is a good time to hit the like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet.
What do I want to do? Honestly, I want a van. I want to live that van life. When my parents passed away, that was what I was supposed to do with my inheritance, was supposed to get my RV and travel and be on the road and just sightsee. I want to live that nomadic life, honestly. That's what I want to do. How do you plan to make money? Well, I'm going to give this content creating thing a try, but also someone reached out to me and they told me that if I fill out the application for clothes, that they'll give me a ride to and fro. They told me the schedule that they're on, and they'll pick me up. And I just have to pick myself up and figure out what's next. Walk by Faith. When I was young, that was my email, Walk by Faith. That's what I'm doing. I'm about to take care of myself now. And do you plan on to produce? Just me, my journey. Nothing in particular. I don't want to be in a sector. I don't want to hold myself to anything. Just my journey. Life. Yes, vlog life. Yep. So that's my plans. Over and get to learn me, get to know me, and whatever that entails. Deleting that. Take my time. Man, life is amazing. I know, I seen that RV. I was like, yeah, I really wanted to do that. But, when you're with someone and your plans are different, you kind of lean in and you give in.
Well, obviously, if that's what TJ really wants to do, the van life living, she kind of take that 17-year-old on the road with her. She has to stay with Naisha. That 17-year-old have to be home and stationary for schooling, basic hygiene, etc., friends, what have you. So I guess she has decided to leave baby girl with Naisha and maybe visit. Just be a visiting mom like Jaguar, right? They are two peas in a pod, mirror image.
Please be respectful in the chat. Because love is love. Yeah, someone told me about Florida water, and I need to get some rosemaries, and I just need to get some healing.
Absolutely. That's a good start for TJ. Healing within.
And I realized that I've been reading it. That's why, she's a runner. That's why, Jay said I didn't go far. I only went 50 feet because I had to stop my stuff from running. Like, what are you running from? Why are you running?
When you've been running all your life, it becomes a habit. And then you just have to stop yourself and ask yourself, why am I running? Like TJ. And for those of you out there who are runners, stop yourself and ask yourself why. A lot of times it's running from your problems. It's really not a person you're running from. A lot of times it's you yourself who don't want to deal with the problems. You got to face that demon, face that person, and handle the problems that's presented to you. For instance, TJ should have faced Jaguar head on several occasions. Instead of running, packing her bags, and sitting outside, she should have faced her, woman to woman, 10 toes down.
Why are you running? What are you running from? You can't run from yourself, girl. Everywhere you go, you're going to be there. So what are you going to do different so you can stop running? What are you going to change? You say you want this life. He promised you a good life, so what is it? Yes, I'm working on that. You need to look in the mirror and love yourself more than you love other people. Yes. Self-love. Yeah. You have to love yourself before you love anyone else.
So guys, on that note, I'm going to end it right there. If you want to catch the remainder part of her video, it's called She's a Runner, She's a Track Star. And that is TJ's YouTube page. So there are a lot of lessons in TJ's story. It's very riveting. This young woman went through a lot. If you know her backstory, she went through a lot. But I want to end this video with the I Have a Dream speech by Dr. King. It's in my head and I've got to run it. So on August the 28th, 1963, Dr. King delivered the famous I Have a Dream speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Let's take a listen.
50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. So we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. So we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism.
Guys, as you come onto the page, please hit the like bell. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But that is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people. For many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. They have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our body is heavy with the fatigue of highways and the hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating for whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality.
If you have not subscribed to the channel as yet, please do so at this time. And don't forget to hit the like bell as you continue to listen to Dr. King's famous speech.
You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities. Knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white ounce of faith that I go back to the South with this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children be able to sing with new meaning, my country tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
YouTubers, I'm over and out. Don't forget to hit the like bell, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thank you for watching.